Where from? But we back today, baby.
We back live.
Yes, indeed. And I hope y'all got y'all scuba gear ready because we about to go deep again. You know what I'm saying?
As we proceed.
Yeah, buddy.
To give you what you need.
He is the dive instructor, and I am the splash specialist. And we about to go on this deeper dive dialogue. And again, one flotation device, you getting kicked off. Because we don't demonstrate, we penetrate for damn show.
Deeper.
Shout out to the Swable Rooms Squadron. You know what I'm saying?
You know.
You know what I mean? Old man Ali.
What up, Alfie?
Hey, how you doing? Shout out to Old Painless. Shout out to Eddie P. Shout out to Beat Down Brown. You dig?
You dig?
Without further ado, though, let's go deep. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
What's going on with it, though, man? What's happening?
I like step breakdown. Oh, you know, man, I can't call it. Oh, it came back at me. It came back at me, y'all. It wasn't done.
I mean, I guess it had a little bit more to play. You feel me?
A little bit more.
Hey, let it be what it is.
You good? You good, Alfie? Yeah, that's my sis right there. You want to jump on, Alfie?
Yeah, what's happening?
I'm gonna send you an invite.
The more the merrier.
I'm about to send you an invite. How's that? Give me just a second. Yeah, man. So, how you feeling?
And I am not gonna complain. They thought they had me. The key word is thought.
Yes.
But I'm good, man. I'm good. I ain't complaining, man. Everything is everything on the path to elevation, further elevation, that is, you know what I'm saying? So, hey, I'm not gonna trip. Not gonna trip at all.
Man, I feel you, dog.
We stay in the course. How about yourself?
Listen, man, I can't complain, man. I have been dealing with some nerve pain, you know, for some weeks. I'm talking about weeks of no sleep, bro.
Tragic. All the damn way.
But you know, I had a friend, you know, do some healing work for me, and miraculously, I have zero pain. Zero.
That's what's up, man. I had a friend do some healing work for me too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, Russian friend.
Okay.
Name was Smirnoff.
Oh. Buddy.
Just playing.
Oh yeah,
man. I mean, shit. I had to lay it down, bro. Lay it down.
Oh
you
yeah.
know what I'm saying? But I mean, yeah, I had to take it easy for a minute, but everything is back on track. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, we here, man. All well and good. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, indeedy.
Shit, but what we gonna talk about today?
I don't know. Just kidding, y'all. Yeah, we're gonna talk about broken homes. What is a broken home? What is a broken home, yo?
Man, see, I thought it was gonna go deeper there for a minute because I thought you was gonna say what's a broke hoe. It's like, man, that's a loony song, dog.
Man,
shout out to the loonies. Facts.
I got 5 on it.
Numbskull and Yuck Mouth. Shout out to them brothers for sure. You dig?
Yeah.
But I mean, yeah. What is a broken home?
What is a broken home? Where do broken hearts go? Oh, I'm sorry, wrong movie. Wrong movie. Yeah, so yeah, we just want to talk about what is a broken home, man? Resentments, co-parenting resentments, and uh, the ideal upbringing. What is that? Is there any such a thing? Oh, here goes the sister right here. Hey, there you
Hey,
go, my sister from a different mister.
how are you?
Oh, I'm doing great. We doing good.
That's good. I'm just sitting here relaxing. I noticed
Nice.
you was talking about broken homes. Shoot.
Yeah. We're gonna endeavor to do it justice. Try to
Yeah.
open up some minds and eyes to some perspective.
Mm-hmm.
I just believe the brainwash was really bad.
Mm. Hmm.
Cause you
Word.
gotta think about what relationships were before the 90s.
Right.
Word.
Look at how the closeness of the families were and everything. You get to messing with the music and look at what it did.
Mm.
Women became bitches and hoes
Mm.
for 20 years.
Man, I mean
Think
that's
about it.
yeah.
It's psychological warfare. You got to think. You listen to something more than 40 times, it like embeds itself in your mind.
Facts. That's a
Word.
scientific fact.
Mind
Yeah.
control.
I can't say they didn't do a bang up job, you
They
know?
did their darndest.
Yeah, they did. And then they got the females thinking they supposed to run around like some thoughts and, you know? It
Yeah.
ain't about the money. I mean, it be chicks. I do recall when I was younger, though, before all of this. I was younger. The females used to try to get men to get pregnant so they can get food stamps.
Hmm.
That's part of the broken family thing too. And I used to sit there and look at them like they crazy because shoot, I hated babysitting.
Mm.
Shit.
Oh
I
man.
won't think
What?
about no damn kid shit. I ain't even had one till I was 27. So you already know I was like, I ain't with that bumper food stamp and all that dumb ass. You can keep it.
That's real.
That's
But
real.
That's
I'm
Yeah.
telling
real.
you, I know women that had like 5, 9, and 5, 6 kids. Bunch of different baby daddies. Now they
Yeah.
upset. They ain't got enough money. But I'm like, you didn't have the babies for the right reason, you know?
Yeah. You had a lot of people trying to punch that meal ticket by popping out.
Yeah.
And I hate using that term, but man, it was
No,
it
but
was
it's for
literally like
real.
popping out one after the other, like a Pez dispenser.
I was
It's
just
for
thinking
real.
that.
And there's women on TikTok. Oh my God, that's crazy. They be bragging on this stuff, man. Straight
Hmm.
bragging. Yeah,
Yeah.
I know I'm gonna get 9 grand a month for these kids.
Hmm. Right.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw somewhere where allegedly one of Future's children's mothers was upset because he protected his assets properly by forming an LLC where
I
an
seen that too.
officer. He's an officer of his own estate, so he only has to pay out what he pays himself
Yeah,
based off what he
he
pays
make
himself.
minimum wage.
Right.
I love it.
So she was salty because he was buying a $16 million mansion. He was closing on the $16 million mansion, and she was only getting, I think, like $9,000 a month or something. Like, I mean, like only like any of us like are used to making that kind of money. You know what I mean? Working a regular job.
Right, for real. Talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, these are factors that contribute to the broken home. Uncle Sam became the baby daddy. I've mentioned on the other podcast, C Dub, uh, there's a doctrine that people need to study when they study the laws of their child.
Yeah.
It's called the doctrine of patrons patriae, which basically means the state is the father of your child, especially if you're married.
Man,
Married.
the marriage bag is a whole different trap and trick, man. I will never do that again. Woo!
Never,
Mm-mm.
hey, let's
You
never
be
say
married
never,
to the
Jonathan.
state. You gotta go through all this bull crap to get. Oh no, hell no, no.
Man, listen. I wish that we would wake up. I wish we would wake up as a monolith,
Oh, we
but
not. And if you
we
tell
don't.
people, they swear to God you hating.
Yeah, or that you don't know what you're talking about.
Oh, you hating? You just miserable. And I'm looking at them like I'm not miserable at all. I'm just happy I escaped all this bull crap. Shoot.
Dodge major
Shoot.
bullets.
Trying to save you because you up here crying about this problem when I keep telling you you created it.
So now you know about extenuating circumstances. You know about how certain agencies and entities run interference in the co-parenting,
Oh
uh,
yeah. Look,
partnering.
I told Ohio State I didn't want no child support. I signed documents said I ain't want no child support. I told them my daughter and father and I got joint custody and they still went after him and took his license and tried to ruin his life. I told him to go ahead and sue. Did he do it? Nah. He rather crawl and cry and argue with me. When I did my part, what else you want me to do?
Well, there's
I
a
chose to have a baby. I already knew what it was.
there's a large
I
class
just didn't
action.
want to be bothered with him.
Yeah, there's a large class action that's been pending for several years, and the last I checked, it was several years ago. Was at over $10 million that was allegedly owed to parents in Ohio that were, you know, abused by the system through the,
Yeah. It was
you know,
times they kept the money. I never got it. I didn't even know he was still sending money. I thought he was done with that.
I have a child's mother that's been the case, and she'll tell me, or she'll try to complain to me like it's on me, and I'm like, I have the receipts and the pay stubs to show what's come out. It's come out
And she
before I
didn't even
received
receive it.
anything.
See, they be want
Yeah,
y'all to argue. They be
yeah,
want y'all to argue. But see, I'm above that. Just like I told my daughter's father. I said, I ain't got a lie to kick it at all. I don't receive no welfare, food stamps, nothing. That's why they don't like me. The judge tried to play me against him when he bought his lawyer and then tried to get the lawyer to take the case and say, we can nail his butt to the wall. No, sweetheart, I'm not doing nothing like that. I might not like him, but I respect him. I do have love for him. He's just not the person for me.
right,
You see what I'm saying? That
right,
ain't no reason to destroy his life,
man,
just because we don't get along as a couple. And that's a whole different topic right there. God knows. Maybe y'all can help me out. Why men got a problem with an opinionated woman? Ooh, silence. Wow, that's the
It just
most quietest
depends.
I ever heard a man be.
Nah, it depends. I mean, hey,
Kick it to me raw, cause I'm like, goodness gracious, I don't get it. They be mad to the mug at me. I just be keeping it real, like, you know, a lot of stuff I be trying to tell people just it's not pretty, but it's the truth, you know.
yeah, a
And
lot of
a lot of times people just they don't like the truth, man. It's crazy out here.
that part right there. Some people don't like to hear the truth.
No, they don't. Like I realized rather quickly. Okay, I got this baby. I I didn't I did not plan to have this baby, but it's still my baby. You see what I'm saying? He wasn't ready to be the father to my child. I understood that. You know what I'm saying? I respected his decision. I ain't mad at him. I took that child. I had her. I took care of her, and then I decided, nope, I ain't having no more. That's it. I done experienced being mother. Nobody wants to own up to their own responsibility, man. And that's what I'm saying. It's like pass the buck, but you see it all the way up to leadership. So what type of leadership do we have where people are accountable for the decisions that they make?
That part right there.
You know, it's easier said than done. And you know,
Yeah,
you've witnessed what I've been through. So what I've found out is no good deed goes unpunished when you're dealing with the system that's designed and aimed to be against, one particular party more so, and to utilize the angst that pre-exists between the other two parties um, against them to where they can't effectively. Uh-oh, I think, is that your phone? I think. Okay. All right. Yeah. So they those who try to answer the call to be, stand up in some instances, not all, but in some instances, they get the short end of the stick. I had lawyers flat out tell me like your child is a number. This case number represents that number, and there are so many other numbers on the docket. It's kind of almost like when it comes to criminal law, like you have so many people pleading out to charges because the dockets are so full that nobody's actually getting a fair trial or having their matter truly heard in order to have um, a true decision being made. And of course, there's big money being made in all of these scenarios, from civil to domestic to criminal.
Hmm.
that's facts. Because the way I see it is this: a lot of times people so busy chasing that bag, they're not paying attention to. Oh well, if it ain't affecting me, I don't care. That's another thing that's wrong. Collectively, we just self-absorbed.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not a problem until it becomes a problem for me. That's how people are. That's not my problem till it's their problem, and then they mad when they get the same non-reaction that they gave when it was somebody else's problem.
Right.
You know,
Most definitely.
if I had a
Most
Another
definitely.
thing I learned too is because I had a not-for-profit, I still got one. I'm just developing how I want to go about helping people. Um, I dealt with the homeless for a while. A lot of times, drugs and alcohol and mental illness plays a big part in this. You know,
hmm
so it's a lot of things that make things really bad. You know, and these people that put this facade out like they got the power to control things, but yet they don't got enough people to deal with the situations that's going on at hand.
Oh yeah,
Yeah. Most
oh yeah.
definitely.
So, handsome Mandela, C Dub, Mister Disco Kane, man.
What's happening?
Tell us something about the status quo that you've heard all throughout your life about broken homes. What's the concept? What's the social construct mentality towards that?
I mean, shoot, the
The
social
basic concept
construct.
is is the haves and the have-nots. It's always been about the haves and the have-nots.
Yeah,
That is like the bottom line of everything.
no
And I mean,
doubt.
it's sad the system is so set up such in a way that if you're not like affiliated with certain groups, you're not going to get like certain assistance that you need.
Yeah. But the majority of what I've been hearing, you know what I'm saying, like the basic breakdown of what they consider a broken home is like a household that don't have both parents in it. You know what I'm saying? Without the mother and the father in the household at the same time with the child or children, which I think that possible, but not necessarily so. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, shoot, you also got the phrase that says it takes a village to raise a child. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, shoot, that right there kind of debunks that. You know what I mean? But also, if you have two parents who have, it's obvious that it's not going to work out between them two, but they can be civil and adult mature enough to realize that, okay, yeah, it might not work out between the two of us, but we do have a child or children that still need to be raised in a nurturing environment. So we're going to co-parent and raise these children together and make sure that they have everything they need, like beyond whatever the status quo is. I mean, because shoot, honestly, material things don't really define what a person has or what a person needs. You know what I'm saying? As long as they have basically, as long as a child knows that they're loved and wanted, has their self-esteem and their wits about them, to me, a child is going to be cool. You know what I'm saying? So as long as they have that from both parents consistently throughout their lives, to me, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
True indeed. I can see where you're coming from with that. I agree. Um, agree mostly with that. But one of the things that's not really considered is like natural law, right? Natural law states that only the strong survive. Natural law says that whoever is the most powerful force is going to prevail. And these are the reasons why we have entered into systems or depended upon systems to delineate order, balance, so on and so forth. And don't get me wrong, man, I'm not a complete anarchist, but I definitely don't believe that rule of law actually works out the way it's intended in most instances.
Hell nah. Shoot. If that's the case, we gonna go back to what Alpha Love was saying. Shoot. You look at it. We gonna take it back to this. There was this I want to say, I don't know what it was specifically, but it was like this story or something like that on, I can't remember what it was, but it was like you had a different groups of different people. They were all differently hued.
Mm-hmm.
Some tones were lighter, some tones were not. You had this one person, they were all standing like in a row, like in a one line. And you had this one person like far up ahead. And they were saying, hey, if you grew up with both of your parents in your household, step up one step. You had the ones who did the stepped up. It was like, if you grew up and your school had like so and so and such, take another step forward. Same thing again. And basically, all the questions were basically geared towards the people who had the hues of the lighter hue. Everybody that had the darker hue was still stuck at the starting line. So it was basically like the person who was calling out all these calls told all the people of the lighter hue was like, yeah, so now look back. Was like we all was born at the same pace. But it seems as though some of us have gotten a lot of head starts in life. Now,
Mhm.
you see what they got to go through just to get to where you are and still got to work hard.
I tell you what you're saying psychologically. When we were children, and I know all both of you all are going to be able to relate to this. We used to race in the streets. We used to race in the yard, right? Some people were so slow, you could put them 10 yards from the finish line and you could start 70 yards back and you
And
could
still
walk
beat
them
them.
down and still beat them or come through the line at the same time. So I'm not justifying it, but this is the same concept. And this is what they took the other channel down for when I was talking about affirmative action, right? How it's only benefited 2 to 4% of those of us of a darker hue. And you got people mad and fixated on that, majoring and minors, not getting the whole point that was the ancestors. And I'm not going to say all of our direct line ancestors and get all heavy and deep. I'm just saying there were certain ones that said, give these people a head start because they're coming from somewhere else and they don't know how we do these things here. But meanwhile, you got people born right here, from right here, going back generations that still haven't learned how they do things here and don't want to learn how they do things here. And I'm not saying they should have to learn how they do things here. But what I am saying is this: once we let them come here and change how we do things, that scenario you described and the one that I piggyback with is what we have. And that's what is race. See, race isn't a real construct, it's a social construct. So socially, you have certain people that come over here with an advantage, and you have others that come starting with a disadvantage, but are given every advantage that was really intended for others to grasp onto. And one of those advantages is what they call family. We didn't come from families. Let's get real. We came from, like you said, villages, and what are villages comprised of? Villages are comprised of families that comprised of tribes members. If we part of the same tribe, then I know when you pull my son aside, you're gonna tell him the same shit I would have told him. I don't have to say
Right,
what that man say to you, son. Are you okay? I ain't have to do that. I already knew that when I seen you talking to him, he good.
right,
It's not like that anymore.
right,
You might be trying to say, hey man, your old man's a loser. He working that 9 to 5. I know y'all struggling. When you want to make some real money, come holler at a nigga.
right.
That's what we got to worry about now, and for quite some time. I know when I was coming up, you know, you had the dudes at the playground. I seen one dude. He pulled out a Uzi out his waist. He pulled a 45 out the other side, a 9 off his thigh, a Derringer out his ankle, a Rambo knife off the left ankle, and a bulletproof vest. And he said, okay, now we can check up. Let me get the ball. And I looked at him and I said, you don't sell dope. I said, what are you doing? He said, shh. You ever heard of the mob? Now, the crazy thing is, skip forward, let's say 8 years later, one of the biggest mob hits done in broad daylight in this city. He was one of the ones who went down with it. You know what I'm saying? But that's because it wasn't nobody there to show him the other ways to make it, to survive. And he wanted that money then, he wanted it now. Oh, and he had one of the big phones, the big
The
mobile
bricks.
phone, brick phone, you know what I'm saying, back then. So You know, I tell you this, there is no rule of thumb per se on an individual basis. There's always going to be exceptions to the rule. I was just having this conversation just last night with a friend of mine. But more often than not, the people that I saw be majorly okay, it's not that they came from money or even like affluence, but they had both sides of their family. Even if both parents wasn't in the house, they had both sides of their family strongly present in their life. Some of them, their dads was dead. Some of them, their dads was doing life for the mistakes they made. You know what I mean? Some of them, their moms got hooked on dope or they got killed. You know what I mean? But either way, both sides of the family was like, hey, listen, I don't like what your daughter was into. I don't like what your son was doing, but that don't have nothing to do with this baby. And we both got something in common. We related to this baby and we love this baby. So let's figure it out. We ain't gonna always agree. We might argue shit. We might even have a fist fight at a family gathering, but that's gonna stay there. Ain't no police getting called. Ain't nobody having to get toted off to the hospital. We're not gonna let things get that far. But we're gonna work it out. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
What you thinking there? Alpha love?
I agree with you on that. It just seemed like that whole type of family unit and community got disrupted because it's like now you don't even talk to your neighbors.
Yeah.
You know,
Word.
and then on top of that, I remember, when my daughter was in school, she's grown now. A lot of times parents will get offended when you address certain things with their children.
Right. That's what I was getting at. I mean, we came up in a time where we was told, man, I don't care if it's the so-called wino off the street. As long as he's not trying to do you harm, you better look him in his eye and say, yes, sir, no, sir, okay, sir. If he asks you to carry something and it's not alcohol or something you was underage to be touching, help him out. If he got a shopping cart, help him push it. He got pop bottles, collecting pop bottles, help him push it down the block. And it people talk about things like being humble, right? Which it really has a negative definition and kind of context to it, right? But humility, even though it might come from a similar root word, humility was what we learned. Swallowing your pride when it came to learning something or gaining something greater than that moment. You know what I mean? And man, these days, man, you're seeing kids taking each other out, taking out the elderly folk, pushing down the postman. You know what I mean? Pushing down the postman to get that key to get in that deposit box. Everybody's desperate.
Yeah,
You
well, I
know,
mean, because nowadays there's no community. And let me specify, there's no unity in community anymore.
yeah. I mean, community is common unity. And so people don't look at each other as the same. So there's no commonality. And then, of course, there's no unity because you don't see what you have in common with that person. So why would I
Word.
unify? You know,
Word.
but everybody's, not everybody literally, but a lot of people are in the same boat and just don't see it that way because your boat is purple and mine is green. You know what I mean? I look down on your boat and I don't even know that you're going through the same thing I'm going through. You might be a little
Word.
further ahead,
Word.
you know, but yeah, there. I mean, the broken home to me was the one where the child completely gets overlooked. And I'm not talking
Yeah.
about these parents that feel like they have to validate every feeling that a child has. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that they need to ignore every feeling the child has. I'm just saying, in some instances, you got to say, man, everybody deals with that. And the child's like, they do? Like, yeah. And I understand you're going through it right now. So if you need to talk about it, I'm here. Yeah, I'm busy. Yeah, I'm working because I'm trying to pay for things that you want and things we need just to have everyday, you know, really, let's be real with it, comfort, because we've become accustomed to a level of comfort. And but at the end of the day, that child needs to be able to know that they can come to you, that they can tell you what needs to be said. I was always told by my father, and I'm grateful for this. He said that you could say anything you need to say to me in the world. And he said, just remember one thing: it's not what you say, it's how you say it.
Mm-hmm.
Facts. I
Yeah.
with that wholeheartedly because, you know, like one thing I did try to do with my daughter is let her know it's an open door policy. But then, like I said, you got this social media.
Hmm.
That's a whole different animal, honey. Caused my daughter and I to argue about certain things. The alphabet, mafia, everything. It's crazy. And you got outside sources influencing your child, and you don't know what in the world they're being taught unless you go up to the school. I went up to the school and I started seeing. I was like, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
We got to have more say so on what's being taught in school. My biggest regret with my child is letting her be involved with social media. I may have felt like I should have just kept her away from the phone and all that. But then again, it still would have handicapped her though from being able to, evolve. Because you got to deal with social media at some point, because this it's deep out here. Like I just really look at it. If you really pay attention, you look around, even like when you look at other people. You got all these women wanting to be Atlanta housewives and stuff, and I be sitting there looking at them like,
Yeah.
oh, you better find you an identity.
Right.
Find your identity. Find out who you are.
Right.
It's
Absolutely.
lost,
Facts.
because self-love is imperative. I think the only reason my daughter came out the way she did is because I had her at 27. Number one, I was already established, and I had already learned how to love myself. I wasn't in need of a man to define me. I still ain't
Right.
in need of a man to define me. And I was trying to teach her the same things. You don't need a man to define you. Seek within yourself what it is that you really desire in life and try to be the best you that you can be. And I really feel like we kind of dropped the ball on that in explaining that as children. We should always tell our children, focus on developing who you are. It's where a lot of relationships break up because they grow apart. And that's what I found. I would be excited because I accomplished a goal, but my partner mad. Why are you mad at me accomplishing the goal? I don't like you when you have money. But we already talked about this is what I wanted to do. You know what I'm saying? Communication is all messed up. And then, people be thinking that a relationship is supposed to be controlling and all that. No, it's not. It's not. It's accepting one another as you are and building towards the goal and be able to commune with your family and build. Period. And if you're not about that, then we shouldn't be doing all the mess we doing. You know, even like sex
Facts.
all together. Sex all together, man. Some people, you know what I'm saying. If I allowed I probably would. I probably been with a whole bunch of dudes who didn't even know my last name, man. You know what I'm saying? I won't even trade it because it's like, that, dude, you don't even know me. But you pick to try to jump up. Nah, it ain't about that. Dudes be on some body count mess and then get mad at the female that's like, nah, I'm cool. I'm chilling. Nah, you can't be like that. Sometimes you gotta dig a little deeper. And I learned it take at least 2 years for somebody to drop that mask and that facade before you even really know them.
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Some people can outlast the 2 year mark, and some people can't outlast 2 weeks. You know,
Word.
but I agree with you. That's a safe. That's kind of a safer goal period for you setting to getting to know someone beyond what they presented. From the beginning, because we were always taught what uh, you don't get a second chance to make a first impression.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So a lot of people have the masquerade. They got the mask on from the gate. They trying to impress the other person, which to me is already like kind of like a red flag, really, because you don't need to impress me. Like I'm trying to get to know you. I'm trying to meet you where you're at.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm trying to
And
be as much of me as possible so that if we get along, we get along, and if we don't in that way, then that's fine. Before all those feelings are formed and all that resentment builds because of time and energy, and for some people, finance, which is still energy, like all that's been expended. People feel like they're owed something when things don't work out.
yeah,
You know what I'm
most
saying?
definitely. Most definitely. Most definitely. And that representative to me, that just feels like that feels like another character, you know what I'm saying, than who you are. You know what I'm saying? That feels like somebody that was acting. You feel me?
Yeah.
Beat down, what up?
Beat Doogie! It's great to be back. You know,
Yeah, buddy.
come back in, Alfie. It was just your signal. Your signal. Yeah, but
Yeah, buddy.
yeah, beat down Brown into his Al.
Yes,
Yeah.
sir.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, she was absolutely right. Shoot, that 2 years, yeah, that's
That's a good. My bad. Due to technical difficulties. No, okay. Yeah, that's a good mark.
hmm.
That is a good mark. And I mean, there's there's always, like I said, exception to the rule. So there's going to be the people that could wait out the 2 years, especially, you got to consider what is at stake.
That part.
We see these people that want to marry, professional ball players and entertainers, and those who are in the elite level earning categories. But yeah, man, I think that those signs exist, prior to the fallout. But I do think there are some who are extremely gifted at playing the game.
Of course,
Hmm.
of course, of course.
Yeah. So yeah, man. So we've kind of touched on a little bit of the resentment aspect, broken home stereotype versus the modern reality. Shoot, man. What is a ideal upbringing in this day and time?
Is there one?
I don't think there's ever really been one. I think we've seen examples of after the fact when somebody turns out great, and then when you really hear their story, you find out all of the inequities and the errors and the mistakes and the mishandlings and
Yeah,
the
I think
dropping of the ball. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
whole bunch of dude. I think it's all trial and error, real talk. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
It's
because
just
they
how
don't
you
come with
wind
no
up.
book.
Oh,
Facts.
listen, hey, our parents, Alfie, our parents had Dr. Spock. Dr. Spock was writing mad books and still wasn't right. Still
Hey,
So
wasn't
well,
right.
right,
look,
man.
I
Listen.
was I was partially raised by Funk Doctor Spock. He ain't have books, but I mean, he spit that shit. You feel me?
Hey, that's what I got to say about my dad before he left this earth, boy. He was like light years beyond his years. And the stuff that he was trying to build and do, I see myself doing the same thing. Only difference is, I find it harder for me because I'm a female and this is a man made world and it is deep.
I'll speak for myself. I will say, and maybe those who might identify with me, I don't know who all does, but I know it's a few that do. But we went through the foundation being community, church, which religion. Um, I grew up heavily inundated around politicians, news broadcasters, all the things that are hot talking points of contention nowadays. It's not the same shit that I saw growing up. It's not the same. You
It
know what I'm
sure
saying?
ain't.
So to have to sit as a fly on the wall sometimes and like, oh, they're not talking to me. You know what I mean? But I could enlighten them on this, or I could add this. I give an example, another topic, but kind of similar because it goes into what our whole point of discussion is. I had an associate contact me some weeks ago, try to bring me into a debate league. I've already expressed to this individual I'm not interested in debate. Why? Because he wants to pick on people who are still heavily involved in religion. And while I'm not heavily involved in religion, I have no dog in the fight of trying to free them from their religion if they're not looking for freedom from their religion. Does that make any sense? So
Makes
why
a
would
lot
I
of sense.
so why would I be trying to beat up on them to make them feel any type of way, good or bad, about what they believe based versus what I may have learned and know and can't now unlearn once I've learned it because I know it to be true. And they're not at that point yet. So that to me, like especially at this juncture in my maturity, I don't even want to say age because age is nothing but a number. I don't have time for that. So then he brings me into this forum while under the influence of alcohol, and it's obvious to me that he's inebriated,
Mm.
but wants to have a discussion so bad in a debate with someone. He tries to debate with me while saying he's not trying to debate me. And the subject was that anthropology disproves race as a real thing. And I'm like, you do realize, while I would love to agree with you on something, and though I did not come in here to debate, I really am not going to debate you now because anthropology is a science that was developed by people who had the mindset of colonizing or conquering other people who look and come from where you and I look, what we look like and where we came from. So because you're so heavily invested in this so-called science, trying to use it to disprove a theory of race when it was the main science and proponent used to establish the idea of race in the psychology of the human mind in this hemisphere of the world. And they literally use that science specifically to study us, our cultures, our way of dress, our way of speech, our patterns of speech, our tonality of speech, our spirituality, from the way we dressed to the way that we sang and prayed and danced. And we don't see, like, I heard Riza Islam, shout out to Riza Islam.
Shout out.
He
Shout
said
out.
something it was so dead on with what I've been saying for a while and what I'm really want to emphasize to our people now. He said, "You think," and this isn't against any group of people, but he said, "You people who are so high on your so-called education, some of you have become the most white thinking black people I have
In
ever
the world.
encountered." And
Yeah.
you can't convince them of it because they're so conscious or aware, when I say conscious,
Brainwashed.
of their color or
Bruh.
complexion, that they have lost
Bruh.
contact and in being in touch with the actual soul, that my parents' generation would say soul brother. And some, no offense to any group of people, some so-called white people were so upset by the term soul brother because the implication was that no matter what you've done to us, we still have a soul. Where's yours? And that's not an indictment to all so-called even white people, because some of them have more soul than some people that look like the three of us.
But
And they
that's
would
because of the
give
indoctrination.
anything to help you, to save your life, to, you know what I mean? So but we got caught up in colorism, and this is the other thing that he knew subconsciously when he was trying to bring me into this pseudo argument. I told him a long time ago, racism isn't the problem. Racism is only the problem to a group of people who views themselves as a part of a monolithic grouping of people who are sitting on the bench and not on the track. They're not running at all. That's why they don't like racism. But racism really doesn't exist. It really doesn't. Like, we've been given colorism, and we practice it even amongst ourselves. Oh, that
That's
nigga acting
facts.
real light skinned right now. But, and we know what it means. Don't get me wrong. I'm not gonna play dumb. I know what the implication is, right? And I know where it comes from, though. Also, it's just like people say, "Oh yeah, dark skinned brothers is in now." Like, when were they ever out?
When was any of it ever out?
That's my point. Like, I've never ever been anywhere where our people existed. I didn't see brown skinned brothers that had whatever it was that the women liked, whatever that was, whatever grouping of those things were. I never saw them without their, fan base. Let me just say that. So it's just, though, these concepts though are steeped in colorism, and the psychology goes back into sciences like anthropology. When you start to study all of these people's entire existence, and you can barely justify the historicity and chronology of your own, and
That's
then you
facts.
start labeling everyone else and telling them what they are and are not.
And then get mad if some, like for instance, that right there is a trigger for me. It's just like, okay, I could tell somebody 5 different times, 5 different ways. Listen, don't do that. I don't like it when you do that. I can say it nicely.
Right.
I ain't gonna lie, by the 34th time, I'm on some asshole shit. So
Rightfully so.
but then I'm the angry black woman. Then I'm the angry black woman.
So be it.
And
And that's why
yeah,
I be
but the
like
thing
Booker then.
is, you
I
shouldn't.
be stuck up.
The
I be
thing
all the
is, you
bees you
shouldn't
want me
have
to
to be that
be
though.
in.
You shouldn't. But the thing is, after the third time, you
So,
shouldn't have to say. After the
man,
first time, they
people
should
do
have heard
not
that.
like
They don't want to
boundaries.
listen. That's on them.
They
That
do
part.
not like boundaries. They feel like they're
That
supposed to
part.
tell you whatever, whatever. Just like at my job, I had hurt my leg, so I told this dumb broad about 5 times. Um, I done sprained my muscle. I done gave him doctor's notice, all this stuff. Oh, you still have to come in. Oh yeah, I came in my house dressed with my Bengay on my leg. What you want me to do? Sit here? I get paid to sit here, but I ain't lifting nothing. I can't believe you're acting like that. Well, I can't believe you hard of hearing. But since you're hard of hearing, I don't mind getting paid for being here to do absolutely not a damn thing.
Right.
Sometimes,
Right.
So
sometimes you got
yeah,
to
you
play
want to be
that
a black
part for
hoe?
them to
I
get
can be
it.
a
You're
bigger
right.
one.
That part. Yeah,
That's why I say so be it.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like
For sure.
I be mad because seriously, and that's where I feel like colorism come in at. Because if you're like, to me, it feel like if you're a dark skinned woman, you try to talk soft to people because if you sound too harsh, they're intimidated. I don't know why people so scared of me. I remember being arrested 3 times by cops and all kinds of craziness. This cop actually said I'm standing in a threatening manner. How the hell am I standing in a threatening manner and you got the whole SWAT team and all these guns drawn?
Now, see
And I'm in handcuffs. And I'm in handcuffs.
that there's an aspect to that that has to do with their way that they are psychologically trained. Being that I formerly in corrections and law enforcement, right, and even security before that, you know that. I think you both know that.
Yep.
You're taught to watch a person's unspoken cues. A person that's hitting their fist on their hand when they talk. Persons clenching their jaw and rocking back and forth.
I'm in
You know,
handcuffs, Drews.
no, I know I'm not justifying what they
I'm
said to you.
submissive to the
What I'm
mud.
saying, what I'm saying
I
is
got my hands up.
what
I'm
I'm
like,
what
I'm
I'm
so
saying.
happy to see you.
No, what I'm saying to you is that there's no excuse in that instance,
That
right?
bastard crazy to the bud.
So the complexion, the colorism thing is
Yeah, it's
exactly
jacked
that.
up.
It's
It's
exactly that. Um,
yeah, and it's not even just them. I noticed that, like, if I deal with a lighter complected female, off the rip, she on some defensive, going to tell me how hard she is, and I'm looking at her like, bitch, I ain't ask all that. You know what I'm saying? I'm
yeah,
chilling. Yeah.
yeah,
I don't care about that. I'm chilling. I'm minding my own business. You know? And I mean, on some realness, not just be sitting there like, I don't know what this is, but I don't I don't do that. But then if I did do it, they'll be offended. They'll swear out I'm trying to be on some bogus mess.
Sandy
But
says.
yeah.
Sandy says it can be intimidating. Absolutely. But here's the thing, that's their problem, not yours, man. I used to listen. I'm gonna share something with y'all interpersonal. South side of Youngstown. Tartar sauce, my man. You already know, right? Glen Avon Ave. You know,
Word.
you think you a pretty boy. Look at this high yellow, such and such and such and such. And these would be more melanated, surface wise, to them themselves. Not understanding that the rhythm I had, the cadence I had, the timing I had, they was about to get the natural living breaks beat the fuck off of them. And I didn't want to fight them because I never had a natural aggression towards my own people, no matter
Right.
what complexion they were. My instinct is to talk. And I don't mean talk shit, I mean to talk you down. Bro, like what just happened? Did I say something? You know what I'm saying? I don't get it. Did I walk in on something? Like I'm not the guy. I think you got the wrong person. That's me, right? But after a while, it got to be like, listen, man, like I got to deal with this other junk in Boardman, right? Where they would just walk straight at you and they could be elderly. They could be 70, 75 years old, walking straight at you and they wasn't going to veer. And it could be four of y'all walking shoulder to shoulder. And instead of saying, oh, that person was trying to instigate by walking into that whole group of people walking side by side, they would say, y'all can't stand together. That's a gang. They came with that old codes noir shit, that gang slash slavery. Don't let
Four
them
to
be
a
together.
group.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. So, but all of that carries over, spills over into our interpersonal relationships. You know what I'm saying? It's such a part of a microcosm that feeds into the macrocosm. It's just like you said, Alfie. Some men can't deal with an opinionated woman. Now you add to that she's heavily melanated and thick or strong, built strong, as they used to say, all of those things. And now it's like, wait, who you talking to?
Oh yeah, it gets
But wait a
there, and
minute,
I
no,
be
all I
sitting
was
there
just trying to
like,
get you to listen. I'm just trying to get your attention. But he's
right.
taking it like, you think like, why would
This is
what?
what happened. They
Huh?
started attacking my character. You don't know your place as a woman. How the fuck would you know? Have you ever been a woman? Have you ever been through what I've been through? Then I don't think you know what it is to be a woman.
Not at
Made me
all.
start wondering. You swinging to the left a little bit? I don't know. You up here telling me what the role of a woman is. Do you know some things I don't know?
But
Yeah.
that knife cuts both ways too.
Yeah.
Because if I had a dime for every time a real man, not talking about me per se, but just in general, even like, you know what I mean? Like, let me
They
go on that
do that.
tangent. Let me go on that tangent, and you're gonna tell me I hate women. But if I say why you hate men when not you per se, but a woman goes on that tangent, then she's gonna say, no, I'm just pointing out. Okay, we should be able to point these things out to one another. You're absolutely right, without snapping the judgment. But we've been so inundated with the psychology of anthropology. And
Yeah.
I'm taking shots at you if you watch this podcast, man. Much love for you still, but man, don't ever try to pull me into some fake pseudo discussion debate again, and especially not when the topic is going to be a science that was used to break us down. It's in the music, like you just
Oh
started
no.
out with everything you were saying. That all that comes from anthropology.
Yeah, cause they
All
straight
those
got it
other.
all jacked up, man. I listen to that mess now, and I be sitting there like sick. Like, man, I go back to old school music. I don't even listen to a lot of it.
But all of that comes from those psychological tactics. They come out of things like the so-called science of anthropology. When you study modern man, right? But what is man really? We know who the original man and woman is. So when you say modern man, you're talking about the modern version of us, and why even after all of the disadvantages that have been given to us and placed the obstacles placed in our way, why we still thrive majorly. You know what I mean? But
They
yet and
can't
still,
stop it. It's oil and water. It's just oil and water.
it is. But could
And
you imagine where we would be as a species if certain groups, individuals, societies would just fucking let up on that shit?
well, guess what? In a couple of months, maybe a couple months, I'm gonna say this. I keep having these visions. All these people who've had money all this time, the American dollar ain't about to be worth a dime. It's we
Yeah,
gonna have to pay $55 for stuff we need because bricks is gonna be worth 55 of our dollars. That's what they doing right now.
I
So I
know.
don't know what America gonna do. I'm really interested to see because the way I see it, as a community, we've been broke as life anyway. So we don't care. We already know how to maneuver through that. You know what I'm
Hey, let me
saying?
just say
We
this:
know how to work through our
you want to
challenges and stuff.
resurrect
They gonna be lost.
you want to resurrect some good music, and you like hip hop. Go pick up that Dead Prez, that
I am.
Dead
I'm gonna
Prez,
check that out.
that first Dead Prez. What was it called? C Dub.
What is bigger than hip hop?
Nah,
Let's get free.
The album name though. It was called.
Let's get free.
Was
Hmm.
that the one? Oh, the second one
Let's get.
was Get Free or Die Trying.
Oh, you talking? No, you talking about that revolutionary but gangster?
Revolutionary but Gangster. Yeah, the first one was Get Free or Die Trying. I thought.
You sure? I thought
I
it was you talking
thought.
about the one that you talking about the one that had bigger than hip hop on it.
Mm-hmm.
That was Let's Get Free.
Okay.
Yeah, that was the one that had all they had the cover blurred out, the big sticker on it because it actually had all them
Right.
African tribal kids. That's Let's Get Free.
Let's Get Free, but didn't they have the
Yeah,
mixtape was Get Free or Die Trying? That's what it was.
yeah,
Because after
yeah,
50 dropped
yeah.
his Get Rich or Die Trying,
Right,
they
I
was
right.
still
yeah.
believe that regardless, we gonna be okay because really and truly, like for me, I feel like social media has broke down the communications. Like I could be at a hangout and everybody's on their phone,
Look,
and I be slapping everybody's phone. They be like, "What are you doing that for?" I said, "What the hell I come here for?"
Man, I don't even mess
look,
with social media
I'm
like
right
look.
here.
that.
Why you not
I
talking to me? Bump what's
I
going on there. I'm real.
I
They
literally
fake.
just had to, not had to. I literally was sharing with my mother the other day because she was having issues with getting on her FB one of her FB profiles, right?
Mhm.
I told her, I said, you realize that this device right here, this is a cloned version of you. That's why it's called an Android. Okay. And within this cloned version of you is all of your private and personal data. And you can sync it or leave it unsynced so that you have to still be the primary user of your data in order to make certain things occur. Now, once you start syncing it, right, where the danger comes in is instead of losing bits and pieces here and there, you could lose everything all at once. But back to the relevant aspect of it is everybody is communicating with everybody, but not really everybody. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not really their body. Is this is the metaverse. This is their existence in the metaverse. They just making it more ready and plain. They're just making it more visually acceptable. I
But
mean, you
that's
got
a
people
mistake.
getting they
That's
got people
really a
getting mad
mistake
at each
though,
other
because
because no,
bots
listen.
can.
Yeah, bots, but I'm saying people are bots too, and bots are people too. Like I've literally talked to human bots, right? They're called scammers. By the way,
Right.
by the way, shout out to all of those who stay sucker free. You know,
Say
if they
word.
start DMing you with some strange talk
Yeah,
and acting
man.
like
Pretending to be your
they
friend and
want to be your
stuff.
friend or they want to marry you or whatever, and you lonely, don't get caught in that. Just say Aleye with two question marks, and they're gonna start speaking to you. Joko Awiri, they're gonna start speaking that. I ain't gonna pick on no culture or no language, but there's a certain group of them, and yeah, and they willingly. And here's the funny thing: their homeland is actually where the internet came from. So I can't really even be mad at them because everybody else is benefiting from it. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But you just got to be careful out here because there's real bots and then there's fake bots. I mean, I've seen AI pages contact some of my profiles like, "Yo, what's up? Where you live? What?" And you could kind of tell because they actually use proper English instead of like the other scammers, right? But at the
Right.
same time, they're asking you questions that humans don't ask other humans upon first interacting over a device.
Yeah, like
They're
what's your
asking you for
ID? What's your license number?
what?
Where's
You
your address at?
who gives
They
that
be
out?
acting like the police. I'm like, if you was the
Right.
police, you would know where I live.
You
Pull
already
up my
know where I live.
license.
Thank you. You got Google Maps on my house right now. Hello, I'm walking out the front door waving. I don't care. I already know what it is. But I'm just saying it's just crazy though how like you know the interaction you got people getting angry with each other in real life
I know,
because
man.
a
Over
device
some
told
stupid
them that
mess.
their profile was viewed 5 times by you or someone else close to the both of y'all. So now you got to hear this conversation about this other person doing some weird stuff, but it's really that person is being weird and they don't realize it. But you ain't mad at them either because you realize this whole scenario was weird because 20 years ago, this conversation would have never ever been had. You know what I mean?
That's why I don't deal with this stuff.
Yeah.
Me neither, man. I'm a
I
weirdo. I
even
stick to
mess with
myself.
this
I'll be
foolery,
dolo
man,
solo.
Look, man.
at all.
Look, I feel you, man. For years, I don't know. You was in Texas already. But I was like staunchly. If you look at my join date, I ain't gonna say which platform, but if you look at my join date, the earliest one was 2012. And I figured at that point in time, the Mayan calendar and all that, the Kali Yuga, I was like, fuck it. This shit's over with anyway. This is all borrowed at this point. But
Word.
before that, I was like, no, 2008. I was like, you doing what? Why you got pictures on there?
And that's when
Even
I was on it
now,
heavy.
loved ones, I'd be like, don't put my loved one's picture on there. Oh, I just wanted to share their first day. Mm-mm. I wouldn't even list my friend. I wouldn't even list my real friends and family for the longest. You know how they want you to list who they
Bruh.
are. So I wouldn't do that for the longest because I'm like, if you don't already know, and then
That
people are
part.
like, yeah, I thought we was Facebook friends. You blocked me. You don't interact, and you keep coming on my page, but you're not saying nothing. And I'm like, yo, I have people who I'm actually friends with, and their phone numbers are in my phone. That's why what kills me with the whole internet dating thing, is if I cannot have a conversation with you in real time, you are not real to me.
No, you're not. You are
I,
fake. That's
I
what I
don't care.
said.
I don't care what we typed to each other. I'm just bored and having fun because I said screw it, and I have this device, and I was against the whole wave of this, and now it's too late because like everybody's on it.
Yeah.
You
We
know
was
what I mean?
considered that talking shit.
Man, you know what I hate about fake the FB though? Is that daggone messenger. These darn men is weird as life. They come on there showing their dingus and everything else, and I be sitting there like,
Allegedly.
I don't even
My
freaking know you, you weirdo. I
Same
Hey,
be
thing.
blocking them.
Listen, you talk about Messenger.
the females be the same.
I'm trying
I
to
Trust.
tell
be
me.
tripping like, what is your problem? They be doing me like that too, showing me all
Let
they
me
breasts.
let
Boo,
me
I
get
don't rock with that energy, sweetheart. I'm not
hey,
interested.
let me give you this scenario. Imagine this scenario, if you will. You said hello to a person, maybe twice. They had semi-normal conversation with you. They tell you what city they're from, where they live. They with their grandmother most of the time because they both from not another country but an island that's a part of this country that still speaks Spanish. And then all of a sudden your messenger rings and you're like, why
I
is
don't
this
know
person
who
ringing
called
me?
me.
So
Right.
you, out of curiosity, let's say you just happen to hit the green button instead of the red one, right? Or just setting it down and walking away. And when you hit the green button, it opens up and you see the person in the bathtub and they're shaking things and holding things and squeezing things. And then all of a sudden, the image starts to get shaky and the person's like, oh, I need more minutes. Like that was 1990 when we needed minutes.
But
And
that's where they at
And
though.
I'm old school. No, but I'm saying like you're that dumb. In other words, that send me $5 so I can get more minutes so you can see the rest. I didn't ask to see the first part, motherfucker.
Right. Right. So I be sitting there like these people done went crazy.
Cray cray, cray
I don't
cray.
even fool with it. I delete the messenger.
And it's man, it's just so many things. But yo, so I can only imagine if kids being unsupervised, having these devices, having access, because every device comes with these platforms, the apps installed.
All day. And you can't delete them.
Nope, you could try to uninstall them, but they still embedded somewhere
Yeah,
in
they
that
do.
phone memory. I guarantee you. And the camera is still active too, and the microphone,
Yep.
even when you turn it off, except for when you want to have a real important conversation and you feeling some energy vibe and you're trying to vibe with somebody of like mind and y'all really, intensely,
Yeah,
building.
we get around codes and stuff, but that's part of the reason why I say as a as people, I really am interested in how this whole thing gonna go down with the bricks and all of that. Is it gonna force everybody to get back to the level where You know, it at one point in time, we used to be so good at communicating without even speaking.
Yeah.
We had telepathy skills. I still have those skills because I be dealing with the patients, and I can like feel and pick up on their body language. You know, because some of my patients they're blind, some of them are deaf, and I'm really good at interacting with them. That's a skill that is lost. It's a lost art.
See, you're gonna take me down a whole different path of this deeper dive because see that goes back to the Tower of Babel, right? What this Tower of Babel story was really about was the fact that we had empathic, telepathic, and telekinetic abilities. So the tower represented our coming together, unified of mind, thought, and we didn't have to speak, so don't need to say speech, right? So the language that was sent in to confuse the so-called languages was verbal language, period. When people started talking, that's when confusion began. That's when lies started being told. That's when people started being deceived. That's when misunderstandings started to take place. And the oldest language is technically sign language. You know what I mean? That was a universal language too. It didn't matter what place a person was from. Certain gestures and movements, even now, flip somebody off. They're not going to go back and have the historical conversation with you about how the the French archers had their fingers cut off by the British, and so the next time they met each other in battle, they flipped them the bird because they showed them, hey, we got our fingers now. We're gonna mess you up with these. Nah, that's that. It means fuck you. Okay, that's the intent. That's the translation. You know what I'm saying? So anyhow, that's what happened, man. And now what do they have? They have these towers going up. And whenever the name of those towers, even though it's supposed to be a valid form of technology, were mentioned, they were just straight yanking people's videos down, shutting down channels, demonetizing, putting people in Facebook jail, as we call it.
I
And
live in Facebook jail.
then
Matter of
bump that.
fact,
You know what I mean? Like they got one time. They got one time,
look,
and I'm done. Like
it's
I'm
so
done.
bad. It's so bad that I said the heck with it. I'm a TikToker. I go on TikTok, talk my junk, and
There
then
you
share it
go.
on Facebook.
That's what I'm. There you go. And we know who owns TikTok. We know who owns TikTok, and it
Yeah, I
ain't.
like
It ain't.
TikTok
Yeah,
though. I
me
really
too.
do.
No, I'm saying me too, and that's why when I was talking that people are like, oh man, you crazy. No, you think this is free? This ain't free. Like they're getting ready to start charging you to verify your account, so people will know that it's really you. Like, oh, okay, so you got a way to secure my account to where it didn't have to get hacked the other three times. So wait a minute. You let that happen so that I would pay you now. Oh,
And
okay. What about consumer protection?
ain't
What
no
if,
such animal. Ain't no such animal.
yeah, I mean, shoot, let the
So
law let the
we all
law
need
tell
to
it.
do a class action suit on them bastards, cause dad go to. We got so many robocallers texting you and all kinds of weirdo.
Listen, all that fine print. Click here if you agree. Click here if you've read the terms and conditions. And under those terms and conditions, they're telling you we have the right to sell your information to multiple vendors for the purpose of marketing. You know what I mean? And then there's affiliate accounts that we can sign up with these main corporations that own these other bot corporations that are doing that. We just, you know what I mean? It's like we don't jump in on those things. And we need to talk about that when we're not on the air so we can jump on those things. But I'm just saying, not to scam people, not to take your information, but I'm just saying, shoot. I would much rather go to a group of people that I know, as crazy as they would look at me, and ask them, can I sell your phone number? I'm not going to give them your name. I'm not going to give them your date of birth. I don't want none of that. But I mean, but why? Why not? Because just somebody already doing it, and they're not even
Right, for
friends
real.
with you. They're not friendly with you, and they getting
You don't
paid.
know them at all. Just
You know
like
what I'm
right now,
saying?
this idiot keeps texting me talking about I won $365 million. I said, well, he said, what address do I send it to? I gave him the address of the bank.
Yeah.
Send it to
Yep.
the bank.
Care
They'll
of.
collect it for me and
Yep.
call me.
Send it care of. Go on and do that. Yeah. Yeah.
So he
Yep.
been sending me his IDs and all this dumb mess. I'm sitting there like, I don't care about all that. You ain't about to get my home address. Shoot, I don't know you, fool.
The best one is, oh, you've won XYZ million dollars. All you have to do is send $3,000,
I ain't
and we
sending
can
nothing.
deliver it to you.
Talking about, see, I need some personal information. No, you don't. If I want it, then send it to the address I gave you. It's a Chase Bank.
Right.
They'll call me.
Right. Some of y'all need to get y'all babies' fathers and mothers and check out. They out here scamming folks, y'all. Just
That's for
it's
true. That
bad.
is
It's
for true. I
bad.
remember this dude
It's
tried to get
bad.
on me talking about, so give me I want to send you some money. I need the front numbers of your card. I said, well, why you can't Cash App or Zelle? You don't need the numbers of my card.
Sure don't.
I mean, they be on some real stupid mess. I'm like, shoot, these people crazy as life out here.
And then what was it? P.T. Barnum that said there's a sucker born every minute.
I guess
They
so.
wouldn't be
Because for
doing
them to
it.
even think
They
they could
wouldn't
do
be
that
doing it
dumb
if
mess.
somebody wasn't saying, okay, my address is 641. I'm in idiot place in stupid ass Ohio. Zip code is yeah, but it's just
Awful.
happening, man. It's happening.
All
You know,
day, every day.
every day, all day.
I
And
Sad.
I
still
think
give them
it's
them old
messed up
pager
because
codes.
how you raising your kids in the midst of this mess.
304. Oh man. Man,
Facts.
I remember that, man.
Facts.
You get a strange number and somebody be saying hello, hi ho.
I still, I still give them all them old pager codes,
Man,
bruh. I remember
those
all them
those
joints
were the joints right there.
for
Mm-hmm.
sure.
Man, I'm telling you, the pager used to be the wingman. You put it on that little middle setting so you don't have to hear the click, and then you just push it up. Look at them up. Oh man, I gotta go. No matter what the scenario, man, I gotta go. It's an emergency.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
buddy. Yeah, buddy.
Now
Yep, the
you
Exodus.
waiting for your friend to call you on that blind date to save you after you send them the text, and it be the robocall. You are owed money for your extended warranty. Just press 2.
Awful.
Yeah, man.
Awful.
It's been fun though. But look, seriously, y'all, we need to start having conversations in private. Not talking about just us three, but folks that want to start building their skills,
that
like my
that's
sister
true.
saying, your telepathic skills, whatever it might be. Hey, as strange as it might sound, just start dealing with people without that device and without these cameras in front of you and microphones and such, and start coming up with some plans and
I
some plans of action at that to help one another out, because it's gonna get worse before it gets better
it
in some
definitely
Yeah,
will.
but
instances.
I mean, real talk. The thing about that is, I mean, like Alpha was saying, it's all about the haves and the have-nots. I mean, first off, the have-nots is used to not having much. So I mean, Bean said it best. 90% of communication is nonverbal in the hood. So I mean, we kind of already know how to maneuver and navigate through that. But as you were saying, you gotta have them private combos and stuff. But in the same sense, please don't have that phone on live when you're doing it.
Right. That's
Or
not private.
or don't post what y'all just talked about after you talked about it.
Yeah. That defeats the whole purpose.
It's not private anymore, Johnny.
It's like when you tell your child, the one that can't hold water in a bucket, that you're gonna surprise your significant other. And
Yeah.
they're so cute and so innocent, but you're all man, all your effort and all that
It went
finagling
out
and
the
moving
daggone
funny
window.
and dealing with they suspicions and all of that, and you really just trying to do something good to make them so happy, but you having to do all of that, and then they like, Daddy's gonna give you a surprise, but don't tell him because it's a secret.
That
And you like,
part.
uh,
That part.
yeah, that kind of defeats
Yeah.
the purpose, y'all.
So make them sign NDAs before y'all do that. For real.
Make them sign
Nah, dead
NDAs.
ass.
Make them sign
Dead ass,
NDAs.
man.
Well,
For real, man. That's the new shit.
yep.
Make
Make
them
them
sign
sign
NDAs
NDAs, man.
before they go down to CSEA. Get an NDA.
For sure.
So you won't be SAD in the END with
Thanks.
the
Yeah.
RESULT.
You stupid. You stupid as hell.
I
I
was a
say
poet and I didn't know it.
SLAP. Slap. Sound like a plan.
I'm trying to tell you.
For sure. For sure. For sure. You got to, man. You freaking have to if you want to keep anything sacred around here in this day and age. For real. It's a must.
Yeah, don't sign up to get Neuralink because I mean that would defeat the purpose too. Because then it'll be inside your brain, in your mind, and even your thoughts won't be safe. Which who's to say they really are now? We don't know, but you know, it's
Yeah.
encouraging to think that it might still be okay to think for yourself
No,
and
it's
to
not. No, it's not.
share those thoughts, but only with other like-minded individuals that aren't on
Nah,
social
nah.
media. Yeah,
That's
be
the best
careful with
bet.
that too, because you got those people that's really. Let me say this: you got those people out on all these different platforms that's just trying to find the people who have certain thoughts and ideologies, so that they can bring y'all all into one particular grouping to make it easier for your elimination or assimilation or deprogramming or however they want to word it because they always change that up.
Oh
Just
yeah,
to
they
group all
slick
y'all
with it too.
together and mess with you.
Right.
Like, look, let me tell y'all, this is another thing that's brainwashed. Like, I've been here in Florida for a while. Been in Florida for a while. Now, this is dealing with the C-19 situation. They mad because I wouldn't get popped. I ain't never got popped, but I ain't never got the C-19 either. I done tested negative for the past 4 years. Never got it. So now it's this thing of, well, why haven't you got it? Okay, now it's time for me to move because that's what they do. They start being like, oh, we got to do some blood tests on you. No, you don't need my blood. What you need my blood for?
Well, two things I will add to that. They had these jobs called C-19 trackers. And then they started putting the C-19 tracker in all the Android phones. And then certain people started telling people via video how to remove and disable that C-19 tracker in their phone. But then they didn't think about the fact that all of a sudden those ads in the paper were no longer in the paper or on the internet. But your neighbor seemed to be sitting outside a lot more and paying a lot more attention to your movements and your comings and goings. But just saying, just be aware of your surroundings, people. Like
Oh, yeah.
you got towers going up every 3 to 5 miles as opposed to 19 miles from each other. They're less
Uh,
space.
it's a little crappy
So,
here in Florida because they keep getting blown down by the
which is a good thing for y'all. But here's the
the
thing:
great thing for me.
in other places, they never put them there. Like I'll just there's a place that's initials are SC, not far from where you are, and
Yep,
they
and
they
it's
they were they've been real slow about adding that technology.
oh no, that's because the tribes ain't having it. Even in see in certain parts, they like, nah, we ain't doing that.
I'm just saying, some places are probably better suited, even though they might have other problems. And, other places that might not have those kind of problems anymore on the surface, uh, those 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 things are going to start being reported again because, the first was just a test when they flipped them on and then flipped them off. And people thought they just left them on. Like, nah, that was the test because there's never been any approval on any real level when it was first even discussed. And see, China's already on 9.
Dang.
So when you're seeing the masks all the time and all of that, that's they've been on that because they already been had 5. Now they're already at 9. And then they have beyond just the Internet of Things, they have the Skynet, literally. This is all verifiable. And you could use a very simple search engine that I'm not going to big up because I don't get any money to endorse. But there's a certain search engine. If you just go right on that simple search engine that a lot of people just like to use every day, you will find out that Terminator, The Matrix, those aren't movies. Those aren't storylines. They're not narratives. And you can let these people tell you whatever they want, and you can let them convince you that certain people are crazy or out of touch or in their own reality, and they might be right about that last part. But when they merge and it all falls down, who you gonna call now? Like the man who they just tried to make an example of last year by making him no longer a billionaire on paper. Like that really matters in the real world. But hey, the world we're moving into,
It
just
just
saying.
proves, yeah, because it just proves a point. It's like I'm waiting to see this whole thing crash. Because like I said, when it crash, we gonna see a lot of suicides. they gonna
Yep.
they gonna be committing suicide, all kinds of mess. Cause I'm looking at how they act in these different nursing homes and these hospitals that I've been working in. They absolutely lose their mind when they can't do what they want to do, and I be just sitting there looking like,
I just remember Netflix partnered with Jamie Foxx before his incident.
well, he
And
not really Jamie Foxx no more.
well, we
Jamie
won't talk about we
Monique
won't talk about
said,
that yet. We won't talk about but I'm
"Ooh-wee."
bringing it up because he told us before that happened that they cloned Tyrone.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you're talking about all the self deletions that are probably going to take place on the surface, there's no
Mhm.
worries because that's when the Tyrones will start to emerge.
Mhm.
So you won't be lonely, and you won't have to call Tyrone. He'll be next door and across the street, and on the other side next door, and on the street behind you, and work in the corner store and at the gas station and at the car the market and yeah. So just saying,
Man, this about to be interesting.
real interesting, real interesting, and those of us hopefully that might still have some sense left. Don't treat your people funny, man, when they when they come around and stop turning your nose up at the idea of community, like real community, and that's gonna be necessary.
Oh, it ain't gonna. Ain't nobody gonna have no choice. That's why I'm like trying to set up certain things and put things in place
Mm-hmm.
as it
Mm-hmm.
pertains to healthcare.
Yeah,
Because a lot of people gonna lose their mind. They're not
for
gonna be
sure.
ready.
For sure.
So I meditate and keep my cool about things as much as possible.
Oh yeah. Shout out to Alpha Love for coming up on here
I
tonight.
appreciate it. I'm about to crash
Yes,
so I can go to work
indeed.
in the morning.
Shout
I
out to
had to
Dark
recover the
Strange,
squirrel. Ha ha.
aka the Beatdown Brown, for stopping through and
Yeah.
supporting. Thank you
Yeah.
so much to Sandy Says, Master
Okay,
Bender,
Sandy said.
Master Copper Bender Sandy.
Yes,
Yes, hit her up.
indeed.
Hit her up for some healing, energetic, wonderful, magical jewelry. Absolutely. And yeah, this has been another Deeper Dives Dialogue Unlimited podcast. Anybody want to say anything? Any shout outs? Any goodbyes? Any nights?
Hi, hi, y'all have a good one. I thank you for inviting me on.
You're
No doubt.
absolutely welcome anytime, any place,
For,
anywhere.
for sure. For sure. For sure. Oh man. Shoot. I just want to shout out whoever gonna lose their mind
Hmm.
in the
Up
next
in
few
here.
up in here.
Hmm.
Cause shoot, they just ain't gonna be cloning. They gonna be selling some things too.
Oh man, come on.
I
Yeah,
don't want it,
yeah. Mm-mm.
but they gonna be selling some things too.
They're already selling.
Just saying.
They're already
Just
selling
well, they gonna be
keyboards.
they are already they are gonna be selling it, but they're gonna be selling it more frequently. Just saying.
You heard it. You heard it.
You can have it.
You can
I
have
don't
it.
want it, but I take
Oh,
10% of the
in the words
proceeds.
of Jamie Foxx had a song with Timberland. I don't know if you ever heard it, but he said, "I don't need it. I don't need it, bitch. I don't need it." Check it out, y'all. It's a good song.
Yeah, I'm
I
cool,
like
but
it. He said, "I'm cool."
hold up. But also a major shout out because I'm about to quote this brother. A major shout out to the brother, Sugar Free. In a world full of lollipops,
I'm
remain
staying
sucker free.
sucker free. Peace.
That's how we gotta end it. Peace. For sure.